So, okay, with 3 minutes in, I'm going to get started. So welcome everybody to the new year. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I guess we should update this. This should say 2025, not 2024. So watch it. Suddenly update. There you go.
Okay.
Happy 2025. Hopefully everybody had a good new year, and I'll get it out of the way. Hopefully everybody has an even better 2025, right? Especially with Lunar New Year coming up as well. So I'm going to say happy Lunar New Year as well, because we're not going to meet again until after that. Okay. So for this month's community call, very similar to what we've done in the past, we're going to do a kickoff of the new year to talk a bit about what the new year is bringing for the APAC community. And then we're going to have a newcomer session where we would love some of the newcomers to come online and talk a bit about why they've joined the OHDSI community, what their passion is about, and how we then as OHDSI APAC can help them, right? So just before we go into 2025, I want to do a little bit of reflection on 2024. I know we kind of talked about this last year as well at the end of when we closed it out, but since we've accomplished so much, I want to make sure everybody remembers what we did in 2024 to then be motivation to work even harder in 2025, okay? So typically we have these three main pillars, right? We have the research pillar, the training pillar, and then the communication pillar. Last year, we did a very excellent job on working with the HSA in Singapore and initiating a study. I know that study is still going on, but we did showcase it at the APAC community. And thanks to folks like Chan and Nicole and Jack and others in the APAC community to work with Evelyn and get that finalized, right? So they're still working on it. Hopefully we get more results from it and can go into publication. Of course, if anyone is interested in joining that study, we always welcome new partners, okay? And then from a training perspective, we've done, again, quite a bit there, 4 different in-person events in Japan, Thailand, Taiwan, and Singapore. I'm sure there were more that we just didn't know about. I'm sure Korea did a bunch as well. It's just we didn't know about them, right? And we've also did our first community-wide ETL project. So again, thanks to the community here, Stephen, Keiko, and Chi, and others who helped with that project, right? We're still doing our normal communication. We're hosting events, the APAC Symposium. We're doing quarterly newsletters, and then we host these community calls and scientific forums, right? The one thing that we do want to ask in 2025 is a bit more on the communication. What we do want to ask the community, and if you guys can send your feedback to the APAC email, or just send it to Song, right? Are you guys finding all of these useful, right? What more do you want to hear from us? We do send out newsletters. I don't know if they just go into your junk mail. Maybe they do. But if you are reading them, what more do you want to hear from those, right? And if you want to help us with the content, that's always helpful too, right? But even these community calls, we try to bring in things you guys are interested in, right? So let us know what else you guys are interested in. We are planning the agenda for this year. Same thing with the scientific forums, right? Let us know what you're interested in, and then we can try to change. And if there's other ways you want us to communicate with you, let us know that as well, right? Now, of course, we always say if you suggest something, we always will ask, can you help with it, right? That's what a community is all about, right? So, okay. Before I go into OHDSI APAC's goals for 2025, I just want to share with you guys what Patrick and team talked about as OHDSI's global goals, okay, and their areas of focus for this year, okay. So what they tried to do is basically try to separate things into 4 different pillars in the OHDSI Global. Once it's guideline-driven evidence generation, the other is evidence-driven data standardization, and then the other is evidence-driven open source development. You can get the concept here, evidence-driven is everywhere. The other one is collaborative education. right? So these are their 4 areas of focus, and they're trying to do something different every month to help drive these focus areas in the global OHDSI environment. Okay, so like this particular month, it's called Dry January, which is reviewing guidelines to determine the evidence needs where RWE could be potentially contributing, right? Because if you look at a lot of that, there's a lot of new guidelines that come out. I don't know how aware the APAC side is of all the FDA, EMA, ICH, and all those, regulatory and standardization bodies are releasing, but they're releasing a lot around real world evidence. Right. The FDA in the recent years have released all of their standard guidelines about use of real world evidence in prospective studies and in FDA submissions, right? In drugs, in biologics, in all kinds of different areas, use of devices and all that. So there's a lot of guidance about that already. The EMA, there is one that's currently in draft that is coming out as well, right? The International Community of Standardization also released one at the end of last year. So there's a lot of these guidances talking about real world evidence and where they can contribute. So that's why the community is trying to look at all those different guidances and see how potentially OHDSI can utilize those guidances and be able to contribute the real world evidence there. Okay, so that effort is January. February, we always call that Phenotype February. So for those that don't know what that is we spend the time in OHDSI developing a phenotype every day, and then building up cohorts, building literature, reviewing them, defining the definition of all the different diseases, and then creating the phenotypes themselves. Okay, it's one every day. It's led by somebody else. It's led by someone. If you want to participate, anyone can participate. Okay. You can see here, March is March to Data Fitness. So a push is for the evidence network. So what they're going to do is work on how to determine which partners are appropriate to generate which evidence, right? Because we have lots of partners here, but not all your data is suitable for everything. Right. It's what are the use cases that a potential partner might be suitable for. Okay. And it goes on and on and on. I won't go through each one of these, but if you want to get more insights on this, there was the community kicked off in the global site. The recording is available, so you can listen to those. But some of the dates that you might want to keep in mind when it comes to actual symposiums. So July is the OHDSI EU Symposium. I believe abstracts are due soon. So pay attention to those. The Global Symposium is typically always in October. They're still debating on the dates there. But the little mousey tells me it's more at the beginning of the month instead of the end of the month. But that's a little mousey saying something, right? But it's not finalized. Of course, OHDSI APAC, we did communicate those dates. It's on December 6th and 7th in Shanghai. Okay, so if you weren't aware of that, it is now official, December 6th and 7th. Yeah, okay. It's that first weekend.
Okay.
If I didn't remember my dates wrong.
In Shanghai, okay, got it.
Yeah, it's the first weekend in Shanghai. Okay. It's going to be very cold, so for those that are coming from Singapore, wear a coat. Okay. For those that are in Korea and Japan, it's your normal weather. Okay. So yeah, yes, it's the 6th and the 7th. Okay. Okay, the other things that just some priorities that you can see that also to help drive the 4 pillars here is the evidence network engagement. So they are trying to encourage partners to join the evidence network and build an evidence network where it's useful and fit for purpose based on what's identified in the community. Now, at the same time, this is the public like OHDSI evidence network. We are looking at forming a network that can be used for partnership with life science companies. So more of a commercial model instead of just a voluntary model where we're doing research for the sake of OHDSI. We are looking at potentially partnering with the evidence network to create I would call it a commercial network. Right. So again, if those are interested, look out for that in the coming months to okay. The second thing here is the OHDSI standardized vocabulary. So the vocabulary team, they've defined their 2025 roadmap for releases in February and August. But the second bullet is what's important, right? They're seeking community contribution to expand the vocabulary content, right, and improve the mapping. So one of the things that you'll see in a second, that I want to, let the community know here is we are thinking about how OHDSI APAC can contribute to some of those vocabulary mapping. Right, because we have a lot of activities going on here with Thailand, Japan, thinking about, they're converting their vocabulary into standard vocabularies, right? So it's something that we on the APAC side are thinking about doing. Okay, these are some of the other priorities from an analytics perspective. Yes, Chan.
Yes, about the vocabulary, we are planning to write and publish a paper about how you can incorporate your local vocabulary to map standard vocabulary, which we did in the last years. So if you need any introduction or guidance for that, please let me know.
That would be wonderful. Actually, we talked about it in the steering committee, Chan. I know you missed the last one, but we should bring it up again because we do have chapters that are interested in looking at that, both in China, Japan, and Thailand, right?
Yeah, so we are writing kinds of the tutorial kinds of paper. Yeah. Okay, great.
We love you. That's why we like Chan and Korea. So thank you very much. On the analytics side, you can see here they're looking at hardening the different packages that's associated with Hades and others, right? So you can see here it's a lot of improvements to the analytics side, such as redesigning Atlas here to improve the user experience. Because for those who've used Atlas, it's not the best user-friendly tool in the world, right? Again, if you want more details or to know what to do or how to utilize these or be participating in these type of initiatives, you can listen to the global community call because I think Patrick talks a little bit more about it. Okay. Other areas where this is all about education, right? They are looking at refreshing the OHDSI book. I think I mentioned it at the beginning, sometimes last year. But taking it, aligning it, and updating it, and maybe putting more exercises in there that would be useful for folks. Okay, so there's an initiative going on there. So again, this is something OHDSI APAC can help out with, right? Updating the book. And Chan, you're very aware of the second one, which is leaning on JACC, right? JAC partnership to promote the best practices of evidence consumers. So those are some of the different goals that OHDSI has in the different pillars. Okay. Now, how do we tie to those goals, right? And how do we, on the OHDSI APAC side, achieve our goals that will help the goals of the OHDSI community as a whole? So we have similar ones, right? Again, we have research. So we're going to continue to work on the study that we started last year with the HSA. And I know there are meetings every Monday that's talking about those and how to proceed on there. So hopefully we can continue and finish that up soon, right? As part of OHDSI APAC, we always try to showcase studies that are done by a community, and that will be no different this year. And this year, because OHDSI APAC symposium is going to be hosted by China, we are trying to collect studies, questions from China to help then have them lead the studies for this year. Okay. Now, in China, it is a little bit more unique. Unlike our past years, we've identified one question, right? And that's the one we go off of. Because of some of the politics in China, as well as some of the unknowns in China, we are actually going to pick several instead of just one, because there's a potential chance that one might die halfway through because of some kind of regulation or someone stopping it from the government or something like that, right? So where we are sitting right now with that is the China community is the leads are coming up with a list of questions. And then those will be presented back to some of the OHDSI leads who have been helping out with APAC on their studies. And we'll take and figure out how many of those that we may be able to look at and then work with the Chinese, the OHDSI China team to work on those studies, okay? And we're starting them early because of that same reasoning, because their ethic boards might take 2 months, okay, just to even put something through. So, so be on the lookout for those studies and where you guys can help with that, right? And like I said, try to strengthening our APAC's presence in the OHDSI Evidence Network. So as the global starts pushing out the evidence network and more information, we will be bringing that to this community and providing you with the insights to see if you have an interest in joining. Okay, and if you have an interest in working on the activities that they put out for the evidence network. Okay. From a training perspective, this was mentioned in the APAC symposium from Professor Morning in Singapore. They were talking about creating a formalized OHDSI OMOP curriculum that the school can then use and people can get certifications with, right? And that would be open to the whole APAC community. So that's something Professor Morning is working on, and we will have him update us on a regular basis to see where that is so that the community can use it, right? The ETL project went really well, even though it was a lot of stress and a lot of help from the community. We've heard a lot of feedback about it that it was very positive. It helped a lot of people learn about ETL. And there's been people asking, can we do another one? Right. So we're looking into it to see if it's something that's possible. Right. And then the last thing on the training, Chan, you just brought up, how do we support the localization of vocabularies? And to do all and how can we get all these vocabularies that the different chapters are working on uploaded into Athena so that they can help maintain it, right? And finally is really supporting the OHDSI book, because I know the OHDSI book has been translated into both Korean and Chinese, right? So if it gets updated, maybe we need to update the books there in those languages as well, but also even helping with updating the English version of the book, okay? We will continue what we're doing in the community, and we will continue to host an APAC symposium. We will continue to distribute the quarterly newsletters, and we can continue these community calls and the scientific forums. Like I asked earlier, our ask is please tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear too much from Mui, I will shut up, okay? Telling you, it's easy, right? You want to hear more from Stephen and Keiko, we will try to get them to speak up more, okay? But we would like to hear, because this is a community. This is meant for you guys, right? It's not meant for me, okay? I got teams, I got people, I know what to do with OMOP, but it's really meant for this community to come together to create a sense of collaboration so that we can do better healthcare research together. Okay, so we would love to hear from you what it is that you're trying to do. Now, the other objective that we typically try to do is look at the number of publications and abstracts that we've done in a year, right? So you can see last year we did 42, or we did 53, I guess, when we combine both. So Song did this, I didn't do this, I didn't come up with this target, so you can blame him for this target. Can we possibly get to 80 is what he wants.
Yeah, if we incorporate Chinese people in then we can get like 40 more abstracts, of course.
Yeah, so well, these are some of these are abstracts, some of these are studies. You can see he wants publications 70, right? He wants abstracts to 80. So that's quite aggressive, from 53 to 70. That's almost a 50% increase. So again, so put these numbers together. This is recorded, so I'm going to blame it on him, okay? But again, let's see if we're up for the challenge, right? So to see how far can we get this year. And I think the abstracts are possible. You can notice it if I go back, we keep doubling, right? We keep doubling our abstracts. So it sounds reasonable to double based on data, right? Publications, hey, we're working with Jack, right, Chan? So let's see if we can add another, it's like, that's not 50%, it's about 50%. Yeah, if we can add another 50%, right? So 100% doubling on abstracts, 50% on publications.
Mhm.
That's his target for everybody here in the community. Okay, Song's not mine. Okay, and that's why he has this little poster to say, we want you. This is our challenge to you. Okay, our challenge to you is to communicate with us so that we can better understand what you guys need. And our challenge to you is to collaborate with us, right? We want you for OHDSI APAC and to work with us as a community to achieve all the goals that we've set out this year. Okay, and thus far with all of our previous years, ever since the establishment of OHDSI APAC and setting up goals, we've always met our goals. Okay, so new challenge for 2025, let's not meet our goal. Okay, in the 6th year we've been established, we've met them. Okay, so for the 7th year, let's make sure we continue to meet them. All right. Just to give you guys a more information on what's happening, right? So the ones in orange are the community costs. Just if you don't have these on your calendar, let us know. The ones in the blue are the scientific forums. Okay. So the scientific forums, if we are going to kick off ETL projects or vocabulary projects, that's where we're going to have all the working group and discussions. Okay, so if you have projects that you think of that we can work on with you as a community, bring them up. Let us know, because that's where we would love to use that time to work with folks on their projects. Okay, so and then if you have topics for the community that you want to hear about, let us know, because right now our agenda besides February is empty. Okay, so plenty of space for folks to come in and talk to us. Okay. Okay, with that, I just want to say thank you. Anybody got any questions? Have I motivated everybody to write a publication? Yes, Chen.
Okay, so to publish more than 70 or 80 papers in this year, I think we need to bring Chinese in this project up to and then for the OHDSI APAC in December, I'd like to hear about their potential projects. Like if we can have that session at the community call in March would be best, because we can listen listen about the bunch of the list they had, and then we can together we can discuss the the possibility of the study or the importance of the study and this community call. And then because since I do not see many Chinese people from the Chinese chapter in the current meeting, so I want them to involve in this meeting as well.
Yeah, it's a technical issue when it comes to people joining this, because they don't use Teams unless you're part of a corporate business organization in China. They use WeChat and they use Vogue. Right. So I have it on my phone, but I can't download it on my computer. So like even when we are having actually prep calls about the OHDSI Symposium every 2 weeks. The next one is actually on Monday, and that one is where the leads are supposed to bring all of their studies, and we're going to talk about it at a high level, and then I will bring that to the like I said, to the study, like you guys who helps us with all the other studies, and then we can present them, like you said, in March as to what the options are. It's just a little harder for those guys to come here. So that's the challenge, but I will put an effort to make sure I ask the leads to attend these as well as our steering committee meetings. Okay, so I agree with you. If we can get China to help out with some of the research, we'll hit our numbers. Yes, Stephen.
This is pertaining to the publication abstract that we have done historically. I was just wondering whether do we have a central repository, where whoever can go in and try to understand what have been done and also potentially understand the value that they have actually gotten. So where I'm coming from is I wanted to showcase this to, you know, those people in Malaysia among the healthcare agencies. Look, there are plenty of very good research outcome that we should look at, and this is where the potentials are, and they can potentially also develop their thinking on top of what has been done using the Malaysian context and so forth. So I think you're trying to point to me where can I get those, right?
There's a page here that, and I have to remember where that page is, but it shows all of our publications.
Oh, okay.
I just can't remember which one of these tabs they sit under. These are ongoing OHDSI studies.
Okay.
They're here, but there is a place where it shows us all of our publications, because I remember seeing the graph and everything. But these are some of the ongoing studies here. So OHDSI as a global community. I think it's this one. But you see, there's a whole list of all of our studies. It's not this one. There's another one that has a graph. I think it's in the how often page, but I can't remember. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. But there is a publication list that the community keeps track of.
Wonderful. I think this will be really good.
Yeah. Is it in our annual report? No, this is that PDF. Nope, that's not it. But yeah, I'll find it. I'll find it somewhere. I'll find it somewhere and send it to you. So cool. Anyone else got anything else? If not, we're gonna go into the next session. I believe we have some newcomers on the phone that we would like to introduce themselves and give us a bit more insights as to why you've decided to join the OHDSI community.
Okay. I merged the deck, the slides from Keiko, but not yet from Steven. So Steven, why don't you start first?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry about my last minute. Been a bit stretched these couple of days.
Totally fine.
Trying to
Yeah, we can
expand
see
it.
your slides.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? Just trying to swap it around.
Yep.
Okay. Very good morning. Those who are in the same time zone, and good evening and other time. So first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm a CEO of Noble Hill. Maybe I can give you a little bit of a background. I had my formal education in information technology and then subsequently with accounting, finance. And my specialization is in the data and AI. That includes data strategy, data governance, data platform implementation, and stuff like that. Historically, I've been cross-industry in terms of my practice. But since 2023, I've aligned my focus into healthcare only for the time being. So a bit of history. Started a company called Excel Team back in 1998 when I was 28 years old. That was a long time back, right? And there were no BI, there were no AI ML in the market at the point in time. People were not talking about that. So we were just doing some reporting. And then subsequent to that, we did a lot of a data warehouse project. And then 2015, that is when a lot of new things come to the market, the big data, Hadoop, ML beginning to start creeping in. And then 2018, we started to embark into the modern data platform, the likes of Amazon, AWS data platform environment, and Databricks at the beginning, later on after that. Year 2020, our business got acquired by Deloitte Consulting Southeast Asia, and I was made executive director, and I was running as a partner in Deloitte Consulting Southeast Asia, leading the AI and data practice. fast forward, I worked for 3.5 years, and then I have this idea of jumping into entrepreneurship again. So the main idea is bringing value of data and AI in to healthcare. So that is where OHDSI journey began. So actually, we have been in engagement with various government agencies and also private healthcare providers in various aspects of healthcare data analytics, platform and solution. So my aspiration, like what Boy was asking, is to establish a strong OHDSI chapter in Malaysia so that we can drive healthcare research and that contributes to the nation's progress in healthcare innovation. So what problem are we trying to solve? Because before we embark into the healthcare space, and we saw there are plenty of problems, and somewhat healthcare has been a lagger industry perspective as compared to the banking, insurance, and also to the consumer goods and all those companies. So I saw a lot of potential as how we can potentially bring about data and AI practice into this space. And we see silos of EMR, especially in Malaysia. Our digitalization of EMR is still, I would say, not even half, not even 50% as of now. So there are still plenty of opportunity and plenty of works to be done. And even those with even those with the EMR implemented, there is still a lot of problem with the data standard interoperability, and obviously because of all this lack of collaborative research and there is no real-time capability, and all this actually slowing down Malaysia as a nation in this particular area, right, in the healthcare space. So what we are trying to achieve at the end of the day, not at the end, I mean, along the way, is really like supporting the concept of real-world evidence. All these are ideas and concepts that Malaysian government has. The only challenge is when it comes to implementation, the readiness of the data, readiness of the platforms, and readiness of the standard to support all these things. That is why today I'm working with various parties in the Malaysian, among the Malaysian agencies, not just from the EMR perspective, but also in the research institute, the open data science, open data community group in Malaysia, and so forth. So what our offerings are as a company? So we provide data strategy framework, data governance, implementation of data management platform on AWS, Databricks, Asao Data Fabric, AI ML, and some of the business intelligence tools sitting on top of it, like Tableau. For AWS, we have QuickSight and Amazon Q, Target, and a few others. And our journey, our OHDSI journey specifically, has been very interesting. So we started off, we saw a lot of challenges and opportunity as well. In the Chinese word, challenges means opportunity, right? So we saw a lot of opportunity in healthcare industry, and hence we have made the decision to focus on healthcare analytics, and we have actually looked at various kind of standards, and then we selected OHDSI as a foundation. And from then on, we get ourselves involved in building various kind of POCs. And before that, we also provide various kind of data management practices, including OHDSI to some of the healthcare agencies and providers. And then we provide proof of value on OHDSI to agencies, and continuously promote the framework, promote and influence the stakeholder, and growing the community. So that is where we are. I think the 5, 6, 7 is something that is recursive. We continue to do it over and over and over again. And we believe that very, very soon from the traction that we are seeing, how the Malaysian government has reacted to it. And with all the news that ODC, global ODC APAC is disseminating, they're beginning to take notice and beginning to feel excited about what are the possibility. And then I act as a facilitator, supporting them to actually journey to be more ODC enabled. And one particular area that I feel very interesting is that Malaysia has got a lot of PIs, not private investigator. Just kidding. Those are the primary investigators, and they do a lot of healthcare research, and we are helping them with the understanding of, the other possibility. Imagine if the data is already in the OMOP CDM form, there are 1,001, if not 1,000,001 possibility of analytics, the possibility of research that we can do out of this, from the comparing medicines, looking at efficacies of medicines, the ADR, the various aspects of the clinical pathway, the community, the populations, and all those things can be researched in a very well architected way. And we can also reduce the turnaround time, the cycle of investigation or cycle of research, from a typical 6 to 9 months to potentially 3 months. Why? Because the data structure is already consistent. There is no need to request for data. There is no need to, there's need to request for data, but when the data is made available, it's already standardized in a commonly understood format. So with that, they're able to significantly improve. There is no need for data massaging and data standardization in each project level. And thus they can actually significantly improve a lot of, reduce the cycle to results. So that's all, just a quick introduction, and also what my inspiration and what some of the things I'm doing today. Back to Jiwon and Wei.
Yep. Thank you, Stephen. And I'm gonna share the screen. So yeah, thank you. Oh, just a second.
I don't have to say, welcome to the community, because you've been in the community for a while now, right? You're just officially introducing yourself. So, but we do want to say, thank you, because your team has contributed quite a bit to the ETL, right, project. So welcome to the community, and thank you for your efforts, and continue to help us in the community, right? And good luck with Malaysia. If you need help, let us know.
Sure.
So Keiko, when you are ready, I'm gonna just turn the slide. So just tell me when, okay?
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. So this is my self-introduction, official self-introduction. I am Keiko Asao, the president of ㅍAPAC Medical KK in Japan. And this year, I will be coordinator for the APAC newsletter, which we just talked about a little bit earlier. So here, this is just a brief introduction about me. I am an internist and epidemiologist by training, and I worked in various settings such as academic institutions, pharmaceutical companies, and healthcare consulting company before I started my own business last year. So currently, at my business, ㅍAPAC Medical, we run studies and provide consultation services related to epidemiology and real-world data. I am involved in the Japanese Society for Pharmacoepidemiology and the International Society of Pharmacoepidemiology, OSP. So next, please. So briefly, I would like to introduce some of the activities of the Japan OHDSI chapter and my involvement so far. So the Japan chapter was established in 2019, and since then, the chapter has had regular activities such as monthly evening conferences and occasional training sessions. It is important to note that more recently, the conversion of a few data sources, including EMR, has been ongoing. And some of the chapter members have participated in the global or APAC symposium in the past. And I have been involved in OHDSI Japan since its beginning, but at the earlier day, I was more of just be a part of as a learner or a participant in the conferences and training. And last year, I decided to be more involved in the activities. And fortunately, I had far more chances to be a part of the OHDSI community. So I'm very thankful for everyone who have me in the community. So from the latter half of the last year, at the local, I have served as a coordinator for the evening conferences of the Japan chapter, which includes Channel Watch and APAC Global activities, and also topic presentation by local members. Also, I was a part of the APAC ETA project and APAC study, a network study on GLP-1 on acute liver dysfunction led by Evelyn, and worked with Chan and all other people, which was very great opportunity for me to learn further. So also, as a first time, I participated in the APAC symposium in December in Singapore, and this really great learning experience. So this year, I will continue to be active in the regional chapter in Japan. I plan to be involved in local training sessions and promote using commercially available data sources already converted to OMOP, or maybe to be converted to OMOP through the OHDSI Evidence Network. I am interested in these activities. And as I mentioned, this year, I will take a role in the APAC newsletter, which Song has been working on, but Song has been working on so much. So I volunteer to do some of the work. And as a letter coordinator, newsletter coordinator, I would like to work toward getting each other of the APAC members to know and learn what's happening in the APAC regions more. So I might ask for your support in creating the newsletter, and I hope that you don't mind it. So it is so nice to see you, and I look forward to working with you. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I remember meeting you way back in 2019. Right.
Yes.
When we were in Japan. So
yes,
it's a long way, but
yeah.
you know, the contributions that you've done in 2024 really showcases how a newcomer, right, or someone who's been paying attention, but then eventually becoming more active in the community. One thing I don't think Keiko has highlighted is also she, for the Singapore symposium that we had last year, she actually sat on those calls to shadow and to learn what are some of the activities that we do and the logistics that we talk about during the APAC symposium, because Japan is thinking about hosting the APAC symposium in the future. I won't say what day, what year, but in the future, right? Near future. I'm going to put in quotes, air quotes, near future, right? So she's taking an active role to learn all that. So it's very great to see, you know, new people and more people coming and helping with the community. And when we asked her, do you want to take on the newsletter? She's like, yes. I'm like, yes. So we love having more volunteers, more community contribution. from others. So thank you very much for your continued willingness and enthusiasm in the OHDSI APAC community.
Thank you. Yeah, so nice words. Thank you.
I think now we have our newest member who's going to talk, right? Yes.
Okay. Hi guys. Hi OHDSI APAC community. It's really great to meet you all today. And my name is Jiwon, and I'm really excited to be part of OHDSI APAC community. Before I dive into my presentation, let me just take a moment to appreciate this art piece here. It's me and an art piece. And it's called Number 22 Salad by Mika Rothenberg. And it's a bit quirky, but definitely thought-provoking. I thought it would be a fun way to set a tone for today's presentation. Hopefully, joining this community will also could be a turning point, just like how this artwork sparks curiosity. So let me share a little bit of myself. I'm currently MA researcher at Dr. Chiang's lab in Yonsei University, South Korea. On top of that, starting this year, I'll be a sitting song in coordinating and managing APAC regional operations. So it's a really exciting role, I think, and very looking forward to contribute more. And a little bit about my academic and professional journey. My background is in clinical psychology. I've earned both my bachelor's and master's degrees in the field. My focus always have been on understanding humans, like particularly like their psychological and behavior patterns. But however, during the pandemic, like this curiosity expanded into digital health, which has now become a huge interest for me. So I'm very passionate about using healthcare data to improve the patient experience and make things better for everyone involved. And let me break down my focus into two areas, personal and academic. Personally, I really enjoy collaborating with multidisciplinary teams and develop more holistic perspective, which might take some time. And academically, my work focuses on improving patient experience based on real-world data and real-world evidence. I'm interested in using CDM to assess the effectiveness of various interventions, especially for psychiatric conditions. And one of my key projects involves validating digital health intervention and new hospital information systems. So yeah, that's a little glimpse into who I am and what I do. And I can really wait to learn from all of you. And at last, I would like to thank Dr. Chan and Song and Mui for giving me this opportunity to join such a great community. And I see some of my colleagues here today, and they've been cheering me up for like whole day. So thank you guys too.
We thank you.
That's support. That is awesome support from your colleagues in the community. So no, thank you. I want to say thank you again to even all three of you, right? One, to even come online to talk about yourself, because I know that's not easy to do in an Asian community, right? But two, for volunteering and doing all the contributions that you guys are doing without understanding what you're getting yourself into. Because I know Keiko doesn't know what she's getting herself into. And I know you don't know what you're getting yourself into. But it does showcase the fact that we do need a community to help us, move our objectives forward. And having you guys come in to help us with a lot of this stuff, because there's a lot of coordination that happens in the back that most of us don't see. It just seems like these meetings run very smoothly. But there is a lot that's in the background. So I want to say thank you and looking forward to working with all of you. Just don't run away when you figure out that you're getting yourself into quite a bit. Okay. I thought I saw a hand. Is there a hand, or was that just a clap? That might have been just a clap. Is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves that's new? Some of your colleagues that are here, maybe that's cheering you on, right? Anyone else want to introduce themselves, or anyone else want to say anything to some of our newcomers and our future contributors to OHDSI APAC? Putting people on the spot. Okay. If nobody else has anything, that actually concludes our first OHDSI APAC community call. So I'll give everybody 8 minutes back. And once again, happy New Year, Solar New Year, and happy Lunar New Year. Okay, that's coming up in 2 weeks. So happy New Year, I guess, overall. So, and see you guys in February. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right, bye.
Thank you all.
Bye bye.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.